beloved, how are you doing? And thank you so much for tuning in to the Linda Myobo Show. It's your girl, Linda Myobo here. I hope you're having a fabulous time. The term has started, children are back to school, and mothers are having a bit of a breathing space. And I'm speaking from a personal experience. It's not a bad thing, but you know what? Coming out of 6 weeks of holiday sometimes is a little bit stressful. And I'm so glad that today we are talking about how to de-stress from the inside out. We all get stressed one way or the other, whether you are an entrepreneur, a business person, a mother, a working mother, a staying-home mother, whatever field that you're in, we all do get stressed one way or the other. And I've got a fabulous, knowledgeable, experienced guest today who is going to help you and give you some tools on how you can de-stress from the inside out, because it's very important to de-stress from the inside out. So why not call a girlfriend? Call a friend, a partner, whoever it is that you feel is in a situation whereby they need some tools to help them get out of that situation that they're in. And go grab yourself a coffee as well. I'm just going to play a little clip of my guest so you get a feel of who she is before I introduce her. So go grab yourself a cup of coffee and do please call somebody to watch as well. I'll see you in a little while. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Yvette Ankrah, MBE, and I'm here to help you break through your business barriers without getting burned out. I work with women who run multiple businesses or those who are trying to juggle the day job and the side hustle. The first thing I always do when I work with a client is to really understand what's motivating them, get them really clear on their vision. What is it you really want from your life? What do you really want from your business? We start from there. So once you're really clear, we can create realistic goals, step-by-step plans, and I have lots of tips and tricks to help you make sure you achieve those. It'd be lovely to work with you, so give me a call and we can see how we can change your life together.
Thank you so much for coming back. Now with me today in the studio is Dr. Yvette Ankrah. She's an MBE. She is a transformational coach. She's a mentor. She's a speaker. She's also a recovering overachiever. We are going to get to that. Recovering overachiever.
Yep.
So she's going to try and explain what that means, because I'm curious as well. I want to know what that is. Maybe I am a recovering overachiever, but I do not know. So why not welcome my guest? Yvette, you are welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
How are you?
I'm great today, thank you.
Thank you for honoring my invitation.
Oh, it's been brilliant.
How was your journey down here?
Really quick.
Yeah? No traffic?
Nope, I just flowed and got here.
Wonderful. You know, I try to avoid when I'm coming to the studio to drive. I take public transport because then it gives me time to read and also prepare myself. Because I know if I'm to drive, I'm going to get so stressed by the time I get here. And you won't be at the end of the line to talk to.
Depends how you see your journey.
It's true. No, but it's too long for me to drive anyway. It's too long. So it's good to have you on the show. You know what? I'm so looking forward to learning some tools
Okay.
about distressing from the inside out. And of course, you're the right person to speak to. And you know what? Another thing that I'm also looking forward to is the recovering overachiever. But before we get to that,
Yeah.
my viewers would want to know, who is Dr. Yvette Ankrah, MBE?
Well, the reason for that recovering overachiever may be apparent when I say kind of what I've done. So I have a PhD, so I'm a sociologist, and I actually research race, identity and belonging.
Okay.
And part of my identity has always been someone who strives for success, who pushes, and I kept pushing and pushing and pushing. I didn't know any other way to achieve success.
And how long was that for?
Oh, my whole career.
Okay.
My whole career.
Okay.
And unfortunately, what happened was I became ill. And the first time I noticed something was wrong, I was actually 19. So I'd finished A-levels, started my degree, and was doubled over in extreme pain. And I was wondering what was going on. And what was happening was my body was really reacting to stress. And I'd go from doctor to doctor.
And they couldn't diagnose anything?
No. And eventually, I was told, you've got IBS. And my side would be swollen, tender to the touch. You could actually see, a lump protruding through my clothes. It was that bad. But what did I do? I just carried on, didn't I? Yeah. So
Because you felt they didn't diagnose anything?
yeah, well, it's even so. That's my behaviour. My behaviour was, if you're going to succeed, you need to push, strive, and work extremely hard. And if you're not doing that, of course
Then
you're not being
you're
successful.
not going to
Yeah.
achieve your goals.
So I'd learned habits and behaviours that really didn't serve me. But at the same time, I was seeing success. Therefore, I thought, great, okay, let's carry
Let's
on.
carry on.
And then I remember burning out. And I didn't see it as burnout. I just thought, I'm a bit tired because what would I do?
And what was the feeling of burning out?
Okay, so burnout is very different to stress. So when you get to burnout, you no longer have any energy to do anything.
So is it similar to somebody who has low iron and you're very lethargic?
You feel lethargic, you feel exhausted, but also in terms of emotionally, you cease to care about things that you were passionate about.
Okay.
So even if something you really loved, you don't really want to do it anymore. There's no motivation. You'll find yourself engaging in more conflict, there'll be more arguments, you're making lots of mistakes because you're not working at your best at all. But what happens is so often you're so used to being in that space, it becomes your norm.
You're normal as well,
You know, and I'd just like to say that if that's something you're feeling, you should get some support because it's not a good place to be. And I'll talk a little bit about that today. Yeah.
That is deep.
But we start by being stressed.
Yes.
And that's where it begins. So I had that, and eventually my body said, enough's enough, and I developed a condition called fibromyalgia.
And what is that?
And that's a condition similar to ME, so you get lots of fatigue. We also get extreme pain, so you get muscle spasms. It can affect your cognition.
Okay.
It affects all aspects of you. So this PhD that I've achieved, it took me 10 years because I was ill. And, but I still did it. I still did it. But, and I achieved the MBE for my work with women in business. So I was, doing an MBE, doing my PhD, attained the MBE. I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a sister, I'm a friend. I did all of that, built 2 businesses, all at the same time.
All at the same time.
And that's because I believed, if you're not pushing, you're not striving.
That's true.
And that culture of, burning, working all the hours, that was something that I kind of grew up with, in that idea that you need to do that to succeed. You don't.
And have you got treatment for those, for the IBS and the fibromyalgia?
IBS, I managed to sort that out with diet and again managing my stress.
Okay.
And fibromyalgia, I'm completely pain-free.
Wonderful.
So,
wonderful.
And that only happened when I started to really make changes in here.
And we're talking about the duration. 5 years, 6 years?
6 years.
6 years.
6 years I was ill for. And to understand it, it meant that times I couldn't play with my son. I had no energy. I've had surgeries I didn't need because the symptoms would seem like something and they weren't. They were all linked to this condition that I had.
taking medication that you shouldn't even.
Well, I avoided the medication.
Okay.
And I did that purely because I know what I'm like. If I didn't feel the pain, I would have carried on regardless. So it was a decision. And also at the time my son was quite young, and I did try some of these medications at the very beginning, and I couldn't function at all. So I said, I can't look after a small child or think on these tablets. So I used diet, exercise, but it wasn't, as I said, until I truly said, right, enough is enough. You need to do something, and started working on the inside.
And I think what you're saying, actually, a lot of people might relate to it, because a lot of times, I think I've also been through that, whereby for about 6 months, I think every week I was at the doctor's. And they couldn't diagnose, but I could feel something wasn't right. And now that you're talking about it, I think I was going through the same thing.
Yeah.
And I found, actually, I didn't take any medication. They would prescribe medication, I didn't take it. And I found my cure was actually listening to gospel music.
Yeah.
And that was my only distressing medication that I got. But now somebody might be going through that and wondering, okay, if I'm going through that, what are some of the tools?
Well, one of the things that I recommend everybody does is create a self-care plan. So we often think, especially, because I work with people who run their own businesses, but you often think about, marketing strategies and business strategies.
Oh, yes.
So you do all of that for your business, and where are you in that dialogue? You're not there, are you?
No.
Right? So if you don't look after you, you're not going to have any of those
No,
things.
you're not.
So a self-care plan is simply a way of creating habits and practices that you do on a regular basis that change your behaviours.
And you start small.
You start small. You do not need to do 1,000 things.
No.
But what you will do to begin with, you'll look at 6 particular areas. So whatever you do for work or business, if you are a stay-at-home, it might be just that environment, how you manage that environment. you'd look at the physical, the body. So whatever you're drinking or not drinking. So if you're not drinking enough water, etc., hydration is really important. We underestimate the importance of
we
water.
do, yes.
You know, we're mostly water. We do need to keep that
Yes.
hydrated. Nutrition. What are you eating? What are you not
And
eating?
what time are you
And what
eating as
time,
well?
You know, and how
Yeah.
do you eat? You know, and then also exercise. Exercise is really important. You know, and particularly if a lot of your listeners are women, having that exercise is important because especially as you get older, you're going to need your strength,
Yes.
you know, to avoid osteoporosis and various other things. You know, and I am not an exercise bunny by any stretch of the imagination.
Well, you're quite fit.
Not fit. I just happen to be blessed with good genes. But you know, when I was ill, I couldn't exercise. So being able to take up exercise and do it gently, I started off by doing Tai Chi to get me into moving again.
Okay.
Gently moving, and then I got a personal trainer to support me as well. So.
And how long did you do that for?
So the Tai Chi was about 6 months before I moved into a personal trainer.
Okay.
But it got me exercising, having not exercised for 6 years. So, you know.
That is very good.
So it's important. So the physical, also the psychological, what you do with your mind, the emotional. Now, sometimes when people feel something, people say, oh, get over it. No, actually, sometimes it's important to sit with those emotions and work through them and talk about it with other people.
True, true.
And then the next bit is the spiritual. So, you know, a lot of your listeners will have faith and participate in that faith. But if you don't have faith, again, it's something...
Whatever it is that you believe in.
What you believe in.
Yeah.
It's the idea of something bigger than yourself, something greater than you. So the idea is that...
I think there's a call coming
There's a
through.
caller coming through. Okay. So shall we accept the call and then I'll tell you about the rest of it?
Yes. Hello, who is on the line?
Yeah, hello, this is Linda Middlebusher.
Yes, he is. How are you? Who am I speaking to?
Yeah, hello, I'm calling from Sutton.
Hello, how can I help?
Are you speaking to Sue?
Hello, Sue, how can I help? You got a question for Dr. Yvette?
I'm just listening to the show and you guys, what you're talking about. Yeah, thank you, Dr. Yvette. I just wanted to ask, I have a full life. I'm a mom with 4 young kids, and I work full-time as well. And I recently started jogging, but I'm a bit worn out. So I'm not quite sure what you would recommend, what you could recommend.
In terms of exercise or...
Yeah.
Okay. Well, do you enjoy the jogging? That's the first question.
Yeah, in terms of detoxing or just relaxing.
Oh, in terms of relaxing. Okay, so what is it you enjoy doing?
I don't know whether the line is just not good.
It's not, it keeps cutting out.
Keeps cutting out. Anyway, let's keep
I
talking.
like jogging and just, well, I don't really have a particular thing, but I do help out a lot with the family.
Okay. Well, the thing is, with anything, you should find something that you enjoy. So I love reading. So reading is one of my things. I also meditate. So I ensure I do that to sort of take time out. Another thing that you might want to try is finding time to have some silence. Silence is really important.
It's very important.
Quiet time to actually kind of collect your thoughts. There's other things you can do, for example, like journaling. So it does depend on what you like.
Journaling is good.
And depending what area that you find in your life you need more support with. I mean, if it's exercise, you know, this lady, Sue, mentioned she likes jogging, if she can make sure she has time to run and has that time, because that movement, it's physical and it's also a type of meditation as well, as you're just focused on the movement.
And you don't have to do it every day.
No. But the idea is that you do something to
yes.
support your well-being. So, you know, as I was saying about the spiritual, so that could be, you know, that could be volunteering, that could be meditating. And the last thing on that kind of 6 areas would be relationships. And that would be your intimate relationships, your relationship with friends and children. And the idea
And
is...
also work relationships as
that
well,
would come under the workspace. But so the relationship side is more for your intimate relationships outside of work. So the idea here is that you have positive interactions in all those spaces.
But what happens if you don't have a positive interaction?
That's the thing. So you have a look at those areas and think what's working well and what's not working. And if it's an area that's not working, then you start looking at how you take action. How do you change that? Particularly if it's a work relationship. We spend a lot of time at
We do.
work.
8 hours. That's a lot of
You
time.
know, you spend more time at work than you do with your family, with your friends. So if you have a relationship there that is really not working very well, that's going to impact on your well-being. You know, I've been in situations where I've had a job many moons ago now, where I'd walk through the door and my heart would sink. And you'd get that feeling, oh, I've got to go here again. And, you know, some of that is what's going on within you.
But you know what? I'm laughing. There's a lot of people actually in that situation because they have got to put food on the table.
Yeah, you do. But
So
here's
they
the
have
thing.
to work.
If you're in a circumstance where, you know, you still have to make money, so you can then look at how you change how you are in that space.
Yeah, okay.
You can also look at what goes on in that space. So, for example, if you've got a colleague that's not helpful, what's going on with that relationship? It might just mean that you need a conversation because from their perspective, they may be being fine. They may not have
it's
any
true.
understanding
Yeah.
that this is having an impact on you because you've never said.
That's true.
Yeah. So
That's
sometimes it's about you taking ownership of that. It could be, you know, it's maybe more difficult if it's someone above you. But again,
But still, even though the person is above you, can still
you
have
should
a
still
conversation.
have a conversation.
Yeah.
You know, you may also think about your environment that's there. If your desk is cluttered, you know, if it's do a little tidy, it will honestly make you feel
We'll
a bit
just take
better.
a short break and we'll be back. We'll take a short break. Go grab yourself a cup of coffee, call someone to watch, please, and we'll be back. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Yvette Ankrah, MBE, and I'm here to help you break through your business barriers without getting burned out. I work with women who run multiple businesses or those who are trying to juggle the day job and the side hustle. The first thing I always do when I work with a client is to really understand what's motivating them, get them really clear on their vision. What is it you really want from your life? What do you really want from your business? We start from there. So once you're really clear, we can create realistic goals, step-by-step plans, and I have lots of tips and tricks to help you make sure you achieve those. It'd be lovely to work with you, so give me a call and we can see how we can change your life together.
Oh, hello and welcome back. Thank you so much. You know, we're having so much fun in the studio. Sometimes you forget that you've gone on break. It's a live show, so things happen. We try our best because we are having so much fun in the studio, right?
It's good. I have to say, this is actually a very good interview.
Do you know what? I know we were talking about relationship earlier on. We are going to go back to that. But what I want to know is, what is a recovering overachiever?
Okay. So the reason I use that term for myself is because I have always pushed and strived, as I mentioned earlier. And I've always gone for so much more. I've always wanted to achieve more. And then as soon as I hit that, I need to achieve something else. To give an example, I had a list of things to tick off before I turned 30. And I'd done them by the time I was 28.
Wow.
Right? And that included finding a husband, right? So, I had that on my
Give me
list
5.
of to-dos, right? So, and we've now been married for 10 years.
Congratulations,
So,
by the way. I know you've just celebrated your 10th year anniversary.
Yeah, so, you know, but that kind of tells you a little bit about my personality. So that drive and that ambition, you know, and it was good, then it wasn't good, and it was unhealthy. And it was always going more and doing more and trying to be more, just instead of enjoying just being.
But it's a thing. I don't like to live a life of mediocre.
No.
I don't like to live below the par because I know what I'm capable of.
Yeah.
I know what my what's it called, ambitions are and my aspirations are. So if I find I'm falling below the par, it hurts me.
Yeah.
You know. So I think I would actually fall in that category. I'm always striving to achieve more, and once you've achieved, you go to the next one.
Exactly, but you
You
don't
know?
even get a chance to enjoy it.
No, you don't.
know? It's like to stop and smell the roses almost, and to celebrate those achievements.
Yeah.
I did an exercise at the weekend. I was actually on a retreat. I went to a silent retreat, and I wrote the things I'd achieved in the last year. And I thought, wow, I actually hadn't sat myself down
To
and
think about
allowed
it.
myself to think about all of those things.
So I want you to look at the screen and just
Yeah.
tell somebody who is in that category right now,
Yeah.
who has achieved so much, and they're now a recovering overachiever.
Yeah.
Please.
You do not need to push yourself to burn out to get what you want. You can still be successful. You can still have that drive, but you can do it differently. You can approach it differently. And part of it is creating new habits, creating new behaviors that allow you to achieve those goals, but doing it where you can still breathe, you don't feel stressed, you don't feel overwhelmed, and you definitely do not burn out.
Thank you so much. So I hope you've listened and you're going to take those action points and please put them into action. Apply them to your daily lives. You know, life is supposed to be enjoyed.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
Life is for living. And everything that we do, we've got to enjoy it. That's why when I come to the studio, boy, I'm at my best element. All the stress is gone.
And that's what happens when
Yeah.
you are doing something you enjoy, when you are passionate and you're engaged. It's amazing how
Yeah.
you feel. And you mentioned before, if someone, has to have a job, you can still approach it differently. You can still shift your perception and perspective. So, it's a job, yes, but what's the things that you love about it? There are joys within that.
Absolutely.
And I do talk about gratitude a lot in my work. And, I'm forever grateful for the tiniest things.
Oh, you
sometimes
have to. You
huge
have to.
things.
Say, count your blessing every day.
Exactly.
One, and name them one by one.
Exactly. Every single day.
You have to.
So
You have to.
even, especially if you are in a space where you feel unhappy, you think, my life isn't going the way it should be, there's something that you can be grateful for. And I would say, find 3 things. It could be that the sun was shining today.
Yes.
That you've got food to eat. That, you have, you are loved. Because you are loved. There's someone that will love you. And
Or you
should
have a
start-
job that you
Yeah,
can go to.
That you have a job that you can
Yeah.
go to, even it might not be your ideal job. Because also, once you get out of that space of not feeling happy, you'll be surprised what starts coming towards you.
Absolutely.
What you start
Absolutely.
attracting. And guess what? If you are looking for that job, that energy comes across. If you're looking for that job or that thing and you're in a space of being suppressed and not feeling happy, that shows.
It shows. Yeah, it
It
does.
shows.
I want you to touch on the belief system
In terms of...
in terms of people actually changing their mindset and having, accepting where they are,
Yeah.
but they're having these limiting belief systems that is actually blocking them.
Yeah. I mean, the first thing is to acknowledge that you want to change. That's the first thing. So many people don't have any idea or have any awareness of what's going on. And the thing about coaching is about raising your awareness about self. Yeah. So that's the first thing. So are you aware of what's going on? And then do you want to change? It's like people say...
I like that. Do you want to change or
Yeah.
are you willing to change?
Yes, because people say, oh, quit smoking. But if the smoker's enjoying smoking, they are not
Or
going to
even
quit
an
smoking.
alcoholic.
Yeah, they have to not want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what anybody else says. It has to come from
Come
you.
from within.
Yeah? And then start again by the small things. Doing one small change, then another, and then another. Getting support.
Yeah.
Having someone that you can be accountable to.
And being around like-minded people.
Exactly. So sometimes the first thing you can change is your environment.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, if you can't change your environment
you have to change you.
from the inside.
Yeah, you change you. But sometimes you can, if you're not, if there's people around you that aren't, positive.
Love them at an arm's length.
Exactly. It is, go with love, right? If it's even the space you're working in, putting up some pictures could even just change that.
Yeah.
So you can do...
Or moving the furniture
Yeah,
around.
moving the furniture.
Yeah.
You can do something to change that bit. And but the thing is, you can change that as much as you like, but until you're willing to go
From
in...
the inside. It has to start from the
It
inside.
has to start from here.
It has
But
to-
often it's the small bits on the
Yeah.
outside people start with.
Yeah.
But then it's like, okay, as I said, looking at the gratitude, that's a step to start changing and having a more positive attitude to things. Because 21 days of gratitude helps to actually change the way your brain works.
Yeah, because it takes 21 days actually to break up a cycle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that 90 days to form a new habit.
Yeah.
Habits are just shortcuts to
Oh
behavior.
yeah, they are.
Right?
They are.
So that's what will happen. And that's the idea of committed self-care. Once you start doing that, you start changing.
And you
your
know what? It's
habits.
actually so easy. Sometimes people think about it, or self-care, how do I start that? But you've already mentioned that. Can you just go over it again?
Yeah.
For the next 30 seconds to
Yeah.
my viewers, the self-care plan that you gave
Yeah.
earlier on.
So you look at different aspects of your life and you pick one thing that would make a change. So for example, if it's exercise, commit to doing exercise, say 3 days a week, and then actually start an action plan. Say, think about what you can do tomorrow. It could be as simple as getting up 30 minutes earlier to fit that exercise in.
Yeah. That's it. You know what, Dr. Yvette?
Yeah.
I would have loved you to be here for another hour.
I can't believe the time's gone so
I
quickly.
know. When you're having fun,
Yeah,
time flies.
it does indeed.
But you know what? I've really enjoyed the show. And I'm going to watch and actually apply all those tools and tips that you've shared.
Excellent.
Because we live in a very stressful environment, but we don't have to be stressed.
No, we do not.
We don't have to be overwhelmed. And we just have to carry on with life. and seek out for help. So if you know that you're going through any of these things, please reach out to Dr. Yvette Ankrah, and she will be able to help you because she is a recovering overachiever. So she has all the tools, right?
But, you know, I'm a work in progress.
Oh, no, everybody's a work
We
in
are.
progress.
And, you know, everyone's got their own journey.
Yes.
And I'm happy to support them in the journey. And if you have a look at my website, you can find some information. And there's a free resource on managing overwhelm that they can download as well.
Absolutely. So please do reach out. And I know we all need help. I need help. I don't know about you, but I know we all do need help. And I believe speaking with somebody who has had the experience is very important because they're sharing from the heart like you've done. And you've used the tools that you're advising people to use, and you've applied it, and it's worked.
Yes.
So it's not something you're picking from the textbook.
No, everything that I do and I give to clients, I've had done to myself and I've trained in as well.
Wonderful, wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what? It's just been a blast today, and I'm so grateful. And there's something I want to share with you, my viewers. You know, we talk about gratitude. I'm very grateful. And the things I love doing is doing an MC, doing speaking, coaching, mentoring. And next week, I'm going to be flying out to MC one of my biggest events for this year in Dublin, Uganda and Ireland, a meeting for the first 25 years. I couldn't show you the clip. For some strange reason, I had it, but it's not working. It's not coming up. But I just want to reassure you that when you focus on yourself and believe in yourself, believe in what you do, and get help, there's no point redoing the wheel. But seeking help so you avoid the potholes, you will be able to achieve your dreams. And until next week, I hope all is well with you, and I'll be catching up next week again. God bless. Bye-bye.